Well, hello there and welcome back to my channel. Now today we're going to look at a project that I'm going to do that I've been mentioning and alluding to in recent videos. But before we get to that project, we want to start at the beginning. Best place to start. And we're going to start with this guy here. Some of you will recognise this. This is my heavily modified King Kong Tiny 6. And this was my introduction to this guy here, which is what we'll call a Whoop style board. It's an all-in-one board with an ESC and a flight controller. And this is where they really started on little brushed quads like this. Obviously this wasn't the original, this was a copy, but this is certainly where it started for me and for many other people as well with these boards. But the boards improved, they got better and better, and we went to brushless, and then we went to 2S, and now these boards come in many size quads. This guy here is a guitar pick quad based on the guitar pick frame. And this will take 3S quite happily, and probably will even take 4S on this board, because I think that's a 20 amp ESC in that one. But I think 4S would be a bit overpowered for this guy. Certainly 3S flies really, really nicely. So that's where we are with these boards, as they've improved over the years. And now we have this guy here, which is one of the latest boards from Gemku that I've got, and I featured in a video recently, which will be appearing here now if you want to go and check that out. But this board got me thinking, because this board has a 35 amp ESC, so it will take a 4S quite well. But does that mean then that we can put this in a 5-inch quad? Is that possible? Is that desirable? How would it fly? What would it fly like? I don't know. That's the experiment. But before we go and look at the parts that I want to use, and these are parts that I featured recently, let's have a look at my reasons as to why I think this will work and could actually be quite an interesting build. So why do I think that this guy here then can sit quite happily at the heart of a 5-inch build and run it the same, perhaps a little stack wood, a little fly tower, whatever you want to call it, wood instead? Well, firstly, when I say a 5-inch build, I mean a proper 5-inch build, not some sort of lightweight sub 250 thing, but a 5-inch build that you'd recognise, and we'll see the frame that I'm going to use in a minute, that can carry a GoPro, 4S, 22, 23 size motors. So why do I think this guy can work? Well, there's two reasons. Reason number one is this guy here. This is just a crummy build that I use just if I'm practicing, or I'm not that worried about breaking this. It's a rubbishy frame, not very good motors, but it has individual ESCs which are easy to swap out, and these individual ESCs are 28 amp ESCs, and it's running 2205 motors, and this guy is a 35 amp ESC. So that's my first thought. Well, if this can run these, then why can't this run a slightly bigger motor? Whether that's true or not, I don't know. It might not work that way, and I'm sure there are people screaming at the screen now saying it doesn't work that way, but it's an experiment. We're going to see what happens. But that was my first inkling as to why this may be okay, because of this build here. I never had any problems with on 4S. My second reason was this guy here. Now this is my sort of Cine Whoop build. Click there if you want to look at my video on this. Anyway, this build here has the predecessor to this all-in-one flight controller ESC in it, which was only 30 amp, and it sits quite happily at the centre of this guy and flies really nicely. But something happened with this. I was putting on a smaller battery on this, and the battery strap there, unbeknownst to me, poked down into the hoop and sat next to the prop here, jammed against the prop, so that when I went to arm it, this prop didn't spin. Now normally if you get a jammed prop, certainly if you're pushing it in terms of the power you're putting through your ESC, if it's a bit close, then you jam a prop, and that's a cue for magic smoke to appear and to burn out your ESC. And that's what I thought would happen with this guy here, because it was running a 4S LiPo. These are pretty chunky little motors, big amp draw. But what happened? Nothing. It's fine. I realised it had jammed, readjusted the battery strap, and it flew no problem. No magic smoke, no issue. And that's the 30 amp version of this guy, the previous generation to this. This is 35 amp, as we said. So with those two thoughts in mind, that got me thinking, well, that might actually mean that this guy could handle a bigger quad and not just die, basically. And that's the question with this video. Will it fly, will it die? So we've got our reasons why, now let's have a look at our parts. So what parts are we going to use then to go with this guy here? Well, firstly we need a frame. We have a frame here. This is from a pilot, Doomed FPV. It's a UK based pilot. You can buy this frame, though it wasn't available at the moment, but I think it should be shortly, from Unmanned Tech. There'll be a link in the description below. So it's a very tough, designed to be tough frame. So make an interesting little build. Nice frame. So we've got that to start with. Our motors, well, we featured these before. These are the Velox motors from T-Motor, 2306, as you can see, 2400 kV. So this is going to be a 4S build. I had some thoughts on this in a previous video. Click there if you want to go and see that. So these are our motors. Really feel nice, but I'd be interested to see how they fly with this guy here. So here we go. Our VTX and camera, well, we're just going to use a 14mm Foxeer Razor Nano. I really like this camera, does really well another build, so happy to put this one in with a little adapter plate so it fits the 19mm mounting pattern on this frame. And the little VTX here, which also has a little built-in DVR, so we can get some DVR footage as well. So there's that. Put that in. We'll need a mounting plate as well for mounting the board onto here. So we've got this guy here, which I've featured before in other videos. A little 3D printed part to mount our GoPro on, because this frame doesn't come with one. So we've got this little part here that we can attach to the top of that. And finally some props. We've got some ethics props here, the peanut butter and jelly props. A very low pitch, not quite sure what they are, but very low, I know that. 3, something like that, 3.1. It's very lightweight, very nice props, brand new, so hopefully these should fly really nicely with this build. But that's the question really, I just don't know. So it's the question, will it fly or will it die? Put your comments in the description down below. What do you think? Have you had experience using this board, these parts? Did they fly well for you, or did it just produce lots of magic smoke and die? I'm really interested to see how this project's going to go. It can take a couple of weeks for me to get to build it and to fly it, so show some patience. If you want to know when the video comes out, well, hit that subscribe button down below and hit the little bell icon, and that will alert you when I'm uploading my videos, so you can see exactly where this project ends up. As I said, it's winter now here in the UK, so I'm going to do this build while we're under lockdown currently, and then take it out for a fly and see how it goes. But that'll be in a couple of weeks' time. So, as I said, leave your comments down below. Will it fly or will it die? And thanks so much for watching. Any other comments would be useful as well. But I really appreciate you guys just watching my content, and the comments you make. You've all been great, and I really appreciate that. So thanks so much for supporting my channel. I really appreciate it. So I've got some building to do. You take care, have a good day, and happy flying. Bye bye.